Before we begin, thank you very much to Spanglesikankel / Sketch Productions for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much. The Patreon is at a ridiculous point right now, and I love you all for it. I don't check it because I'm always scared of where it is, and then I checked it tonight, and it's just like more than I ever thought I would be able to get. So for all of you who are supporting me, thank you very much. I hope I am worth your contribution. I hope I can keep this going and give you as much content as possible. We're over 700 days into this daily streak, and obviously we're like 6.5 months into the shout-out streak. I need to keep it on the screen. Like, we are at this many days. But it's been unreal, and I thank each and every one of you for it. You're literally making it possible for me to do this. So, I love days like this. I love when the Transformers news cycle just throws me a softball. And I don't have to come up with a top 10 list, gather images for a tier list. I don't have to write up some weird story or rewrite how things went in G1 or whatever. I can just read the news. Oh, man. So we got a brand new list of leaks, and there are some meaty ones on this bone, so let us go into it. So the first one is a very obvious one, and that is Core Class Galvatron for Legacy. I'm just going to call it Legacy Universe because that seems to be what the name's going to be from the abbreviation. We knew there was a Megatron on the way, so this is really no shock. The only question here is which color scheme are they going to go with? If they go cartoon accurate, it's going to have yellow barrels, it's going to have a blue crown, it's going to have a solid red belly instead of, or they could go with the toy accurate, which is black crown, orange barrels, and like a painted around belly, so it looks more like the G1 Galvatron. I'll keep saying it every chance I get. That repaint that we got in America for Energon Galvatron is gorgeous, and I don't care if it's not show accurate. It's beautiful. It's one of the most pretty repaints we've ever gotten. One of the few times Hasbro did it better than Takara. And now I really wonder which one it's going to be when we get to this tiny little Galvatron. We will have to wait and see, because we haven't even seen the first version of this toy yet. Alright, continue with the core class in Legacy. We are also getting Rock 2. I believe this was also a code name for a deluxe class Rock at one point. I believe a leak list previously mentioned the actual names of those that we are getting. Yeah, this is apparently going to be the new style of fossilizer, and just like the fossilizers, it's going to leak into the core class as well. We are getting Rock Lords. We are essentially getting Rock Transformers, and I cannot wait to see how Hasbro and Takara handle that concept, because it was weird when Bandai did it. I think it's going to be even weirder now, because it's going to be broken up into like stone weapons and stone armor. And you know, there's it's one time where I'm like hoping for clear plastic because I kind of want a diamond transformer. We'll see. We'll see. I'm super curious where they're going with this one. I wouldn't be surprised if like deluxes end up being like really big, ominous kind of boulders and stones with like magma or moss details to make them look a little bit more interesting. And then the core class can be the gemstones, so your emerald, your diamond, your ruby, whatever. That's my hope anyway. I have no idea if we're going that direction. Let's move up to the deluxes, and we're going to talk Slipstream. Oh, I'm always happy to see a Slipstream leak into the listings. Now, I'm using this picture because part of me fully expects her to be a retool of the upcoming Cyberverse Windblade that we have seen in previous leak listings. I really don't want it to be, because she absolutely deserves to be her own mold. And I don't think she's ever been her own mold. I think she's been nothing but repaints and retools for her entire lifespan. And considering what a fascinating character she is in animated, that's such an injustice. I'm hoping that it's a new mold. But in my heart of hearts, I kind of expect a Windblade retool. Either way, I'm still going to welcome it because she is an awesome character. I love the color scheme. And yeah, more female Decepticons, please. I want more. I want more. Deluxe RID Sideburn. That was the most obvious. That was the most obvious of gets. We already knew that the second we saw Shadow Striker. There are people who know nothing about Transformers who saw this coming. There are people who are living in other countries with no internet access who saw this one coming. It's like literally the most obvious one they could have done. Not a real shock. The more shocking is going to be if they do the Bakon version of Shadow Striker and double pack it with Roulette. That would be more fun. Oh, I'm sorry. OTFCC. It wasn't Bakon at the time. Point being, we're getting a sideburn. No one's really shocked. Moving on. This one's actually kind of surprising to me. We're getting a deluxe Quake. It's strange because Quake just had a figure in Titan's Return. Now, granted, it was a retool of Hardhead, whereas I don't think there's a deluxe tank out there right now that you could redo this guy into, unless you like drag the Warpath mold out of mothballs, and I don't think they're going that route. It seems like, it feels like, he is going to be a follow-up to Needle Nose, and we're just going to get a proper double target master. Seems like the obvious way to go. How to, you know, that's one of those releases where I'm kind of more interested in, like, how are you going to reuse this? We'll find out at some point, I'm sure, but for now, it's just interesting, because Quake getting another figure, you know, and, you know, for a very low ranked character, it's actually pretty quick to get another Quake figure. You know, considering we're still waiting on a Gears, things like that. But it's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how he turns out. And you know, if they actually do manage to work both Target Masters into it. Hopefully it leads to more, because there's like, I've got a bunch of love for like some of the double Target Master characters. Animated Motormaster is coming to the Voyager lineup. Now, we already had a previous listing for an animated Optimus Prime at the Voyager price point. Now we confirmed that, let's do it properly, the Motormaster is going to be on its way to Transformers Legacy Universe. I'm in this like craze. It's funny to me that like we're at this point where Bakon stuff is like for a while, Bakon stuff was sacred. You couldn't do anything close to what Bakon released. It was on the guide to the show. You know, when you're buying the exclusives, they told you these toys will never be offered ever again. Well, I guess it isn't technically the same toy. Just interesting that these Bakon characters, these Bakon designs, start to end up at mass retail. And I know Derek was really attached and like really involved in making the Stunticon job set. So, yeah, I'm glad this is a little bit of his legacy continuing on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one a lot, and hopefully this is where I wish there were bios so they could sneak a bunch of Randy Savage quotes into it. Ah, well. All right, and just to round it off, we're getting a repack of Metal Hawk, which is kind of surprising to me because Metal Hawk shelf-warmed in my area. He was not hard to find. Would not be surprised if this just ends up being kind of a holdover, or like the listings that kept saying we were getting a repack, like a package refresh of Wheeljack that never happened. Something like that. I'm almost expecting, like, because they were going to do a third run of Wheeljack and then they pulled back, and that just vanished. On this one, I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happened. All right. We have news on the next Walmart exclusive capsule, which most likely means the G2 line is only going to be a one-wave thing. And the theme of the next one is the Star Seekers. We are actually getting a pirate-themed run in Walmart, which kind of has me wondering how they pull these things. Star Seekers are really like nothing in the grand scheme of things. They're a Bakon story, for the sake of a few of its characters. Flame War, their take on Cannonball. So that part's a thing. But the rest of it, like the only Star Seeker that was in here previous to this was Thundertron in Prime, and then they never did anything with it at retail after that. He was just kind of a lone wolf pirate thing. Lone lion wolf, I guess. But we've got two deluxes that are unlisted here. One of them, I would not be surprised if it was a new take on Cannonball. I'm not sure who you would use unless you break out Crankcase's mold again and retooled it enough to look like, to kind of pass for a Cybertron Cannonball look. That I could see as one of the deluxes. I'm also willing to bet another of the deluxes is going to be another of the G2 Stunticons. I wouldn't wager a guess as to which one it is. We've got Breakdown and Wild Rider to go. It's probably going to just depend on color scheme wise, what they need in the wave, just kind of break it up a little bit. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what they looked like in G2. That might mean Breakdown. I'm going to put a bet that one of the unmarked ones here is Breakdown. All right. Let's get to the ones we actually have names for. Road Pig to go. That kind of works. We just got his Autobot rival in Velocitron. So this wouldn't surprise me either. I've already seen people speculate what mold it's going to be. I saw a lot of people speculating it might be animated Prowl's mold. No, it's going to be the Junkion. Oh man, what's the name? Grease Pit, Crash Bar. I can never remember. I can't keep the new Junkions apart. But it's going to be the Junkion. It's going to be the Junkion Deluxe motorcycle because the two share the 3 headlights across the chest. And the midsection actually has similar layered looks to it. So don't be surprised. It's going to be the Junkion mold. I'm just telling you right now that's what Road Pig's going to be. And you know what? That kind of junky look kind of works a little bit. Because they don't have any like Harley-style motorcycles like this in Transformers right now. So they got to adapt something. And it ain't going to be Prowl. So it's going to be the Junkion. In a similar state, I'm sad to say, Lockdown is also on this list. If Lockdown had been a Universe Deluxe, then I would be elated because it would mean that he would be a brand new mold, and hopefully he did the same trick he did in Animated, where he's a deluxe but he's super tall because they engineered him in some goofball way. But no, this is going to be in the Star Seekers run, which means he's going to be a retool. Because I don't anticipate this line doing anything crazy like Cosmos or anything. I expect it to run like the G2 line and just be repaints and retools. And this is, again, going to be a retool of the Junkion car. I don't see any other way it goes. Because like, we've already got a Mad Max-looking car. Why make another Mad Max-looking car? Even if it is a popular character, we can just retool the one we've got. And it's sad. This is why I use the Cyberverse version, because yeah, I knew this is going to be way closer to how it looks than the animated version. It's going to be it's a letdown to me. I don't know. I'm still fingers crossed for a proper Lockdown someday. I don't think this is going to be it. Here's a name that really threw me off, and I think is super cool to see: Filch. Now, I love the design of Robots in Disguise 2015 Filch. Really love the look of her, love the color. I would love for this to be a really cool and exciting thing, but we're doing Star Seekers, which means she's a retool, meaning she's probably just going to be a remold of Air Razor. That's a letdown. Man, this line just continues. Like, we only have names, and this already feels like it's going to be the worst of the Walmart capsules, just because it's going to give us things adjacent to what would be really cool, but not give us the thing that's really cool. And this is going to be one of them. I mean, at best, she might be a repaint or a retool of the Rise of the Beast Core Class Air Razor, or Core Series Air Razor, which is a much cooler toy. But I don't foresee that happening. So I'm prepared to be let down by Filch on this one. Stranger even, there's a Voyager Ferric on the list. Again with the BotCon characters. Now, Ferric is not a BotCon character. He originates from the Transformers UK comic book run but he's a super obscure character that most fans didn't even know about until BotCon decided, hey, we're making a toy of this guy. A toy that does not share his color scheme at all, by the way. Now, that kind of leads to, like, a confusion, because this could either be just a straight-up Cyclonus repaint and take its cues from the BotCon toy, or they could take their cues from the original Marvel UK depiction, and in that case, I'm going to bet it's going to end up as some kind of G-Axis retool. That's my bet going into this. I think it's going to be a retooled G-Axis if it's accurate to the comic book. Otherwise, it's just going to be a quick repaint of Cyclonus, and it's, again, kind of be a letdown. But I guess for you Ferric fans, all 4 of you, you might have a new one on the way. Just upset a whole run of Ferric fans there. I apologize. I don't, but, you know. And then we have an interesting one. So, we have a listing for Thundertron. Now, of course, this is the one Star Seeker we've seen at retail before this. And you would immediately think it's just going to be a retool of Leo Prime, right? Lions, you know, kind of obvious. It's leader class. So unless they sneak in a whole ton of accessories to bulk out that Voyager toy up to a leader class, no, this is going to do something completely left field. And I would really love for it to do something left field, because let's be honest, that Voyager mold, that Lio convoy, doesn't suit the design, and it does not suit the aesthetic of Thundertron. Thundertron is far sleeker. There's a lot more sharp details, and it's a mechanical lion, most importantly. So that now leaves the question, what is that even going to be? Like, there is no pre-existing mold that even works for that. Big question mark. Big question mark. The only thing that I can think of, there is a listing that does include a rumored Tigerhawk. And if it's a heavily retooled Tigerhawk, then I could see it working. That's the only mold I can think of, and it's a mold that isn't even announced yet or confirmed yet. I'm just going off of the leak listings. But if Thundertron's going to be anything, I feel like it's going to be that. I really don't think there's anything else, to be honest. So that's it for Generation style toys. Let's move into Studio Series, because we've got some strange ones on this one. So Steeljaw came up in the 86 line. This is kind of huge, because considering the fact that if my count is correct, we've had 3 Blaster toys since the G1, right? So we've had the Fall of Cybertron that was retooled from Soundwave. Oh, no. We go even farther back than this. We'll go Universe 2.0, where we got one out of Cybertron Soundwave, all right? 4 blasters, all right? We'll be generous here and say 4 blasters. So, Universe 2.0, Generations, War for Cybertron. And then we have Titan's Return and Kingdom/Legacy Wave 1. And no Steeljaw. None. So this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. It's been a long time. The weird thing about this is that the listing shares the product number with the previously leaked movie Steeljaw toy, which apparently now is shelved or delayed or something. I don't know. I have no idea. So, okay. This is kind of up in the air. But it seems like Blaster's finally going to get some cassette support. Finally. Speaking of, so the listing is technically listed for Movie 6 Frenzy, not 86 Frenzy, which is the one I kind of expected. There was no Frenzy in the 6th movie. That's the Bumblebee movie. There's no Frenzy in that movie. So, I don't know what this listing is. For now, I'm going to assume it's going to change just like Steeljaw is, and eventually it's just going to be announced it's Frenzy. Red. That's my thinking anyway. Unless they actually just want to do another Frenzy at retail. Do that. We got Core Class for that reason, but then to be Movie 1 Frenzy. Why is this listed as Movie 6? I don't know. I'm going to assume there's an error in there somewhere. Just something named Frenzy is going to come out, and just keep an eye on it. We know that Studio Series is eventually going to get a Wheeljack from Rise of the Beast. That was no surprise. Apparently, this one was shoved backwards. Apparently, the product number now has it coming out in 2024 rather than this year. Which, okay, fine. Studio Series is shuffling around a lot, so no big surprise there. But, okay, so we're going to wait a little bit longer to get the Pablo van. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We are getting a repack of Gnaw. Great idea, because troop builders are always in hot demand, and that is one that evaporated from shelves rather quickly. I would love to see it hit saturation so I could buy a bunch on clearance, but that's just me. But it's a really good mold. If you missed it the first time, pick it up. This is probably about as good as Gnaw is ever going to be, because I don't see him hitting up in Masterpiece anytime soon. Moving up to War for Cybertron. We actually got a little bit of War for Cybertron news in this little bit, so we know what's finally coming up after the current wave. We are getting Decepticon Infantry, which is not the most exciting thing in the world. Guess what? It's probably just going to be retools of Barricade. Hate to break it to you, but that's probably all this is going to end up being. So if you didn't like the Barricade toy, get ready. It's going to be a troop builder soon. So get ready to dislike it and still have to buy 3 at a time. Moving on to ones that we might know. There's a listing for a deluxe next-gen Bumblebee. It's not listed under any name. It's not listed under Reactivate. I'm assuming it's Reactivate because of the way that it is named. Next-gen Bumblebee. You know, there's nothing else that really fits that description. I really don't know. It's just a deluxe Bumblebee. So it really could be anything. You know, next gen could also just kind of stand for like a redo of one of the previous ones. I have no idea. This is another one where this is just kind of like, I'll just throw it in the air and we'll see what happens when it lands. But yeah, big shock. A new Bumblebee is coming to Studio Series. I know. Amazing, right? Here is one I really get confused on. I have no idea where this one is coming from or what it is referring to. I will go ahead and tell you it is a deluxe class Megatron listed HM. I don't have anything on this. I don't know what HM means. The only thing I can think of Transformer related with HM is going to be High Moon. But then it would be listed as War for Cybertron. And we already got a High Moon Megatron. And it was a Voyager, not a Deluxe. So I have no idea what's going on with this one. None whatsoever. It's just a super bizarre listing. But there's apparently a Deluxe Megatron coming to Studio Series. And we have no idea what it's going to be. We have no idea what it's about. I have no idea. It's just floating in the wind. That's going to be the interesting one to discover, and to see if that listing changes to be a little bit more friendly later on. To finish off the Seekers from the Bumblebee movie, Skywarp is going to be on the way, so no big shock there. It's just expected to be a purple and gray Seeker. The next War for Cybertron is announced, though. At the Voyager scale, we are doing Ratchet, and which is a great call. It's a really good design. It should do well at the Voyager scale. I love the idea. I love how Ironhide and Ratchet are kind of going back and forth on who gets to go first. You know, so for like Siege, Ironhide got to go first, and then for Studio Series Core, Ratchet got to go first. And then for Studio Series Voyager, Ironhide got to go first, and now Ratchet gets to go first again. Now, the good news is, because this is a Voyager scale toy, you're probably not going to have to go to a Walgreens to get it. So it's going to be a little bit easier than a lot of the other emergency vehicles we've done lately. Alright, the next two are another weird one. So this is listed as Movie 8 Optimus Prime, has a listing. So this is the Prime from Transformers 1, hence why I've used a pre-Earth Optimus Prime as our stand-in image. This is the one that is marked A level. It is, so like everything before this, so it's like Tra-Gen, so TRA Gen Studio Series Voyager WFC Ratchet, all right? This is TRA Gen A-level AST assortment Movie 8 Optimus Prime. We have no idea what A-level is. We don't know if it's a new size class. We don't know if it's like a premium line. We don't know if it's like a new subset. Nothing. It's just called A-level, and we have no context as to what that is. There is also an A-level mentioned for Bumblebee, but this one is also marked for the 86 line. So now we really have no idea what A-level means, because apparently it does not restricted by size classes, and it's not restricted by movie or 86. No idea. But I will also tell you, in the production numbers, if you go check this out, all the Studio Series stuff is like F8. It starts with like F87, F87s, F87 all the way down the line until you get to the A-level stuff, which is listed as Studio Series because of the 86 moniker. But there starts with G0, and the other ones that start with G0 are the Walmart exclusive runs. So, you know, so like Starseeker Capsule Deluxe 1 is GO231. You know, and then, you know, Bumblebee is GO220. So somewhere they're a little bit closer to that. So this might be in the incorrect listing. This might be a future wave or a future assortment for the Starseeker class. This might be more markers for exclusives. So these might be like buzzworthy. Don't know. Don't know. All I can do is report it and speculate. But with something called 86 Bumblebee on the way, don't be surprised if that Volkswagen Bumblebee that got exclusively released in Netflix, don't be surprised that finally didn't come back around and give you another chance to get it. So that's my prediction on that one. And that's everything in the leak list. This is a ton of stuff, to the point where I don't even know who's going to be on the thumbnail. I got to make it good, though, because this is a lot. So feel free to speculate in the comments below. There's a lot of mystery to this one, and a lot of weird choices, especially in the Starseeker run. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.